introduce myself. I'm Jeremy Duza. I'm the principal of adult education at Ocean County Vocational School, as well as, more importantly for everybody involved here, the apprenticeship coordinator for our district. So um, since I started here, I know I got a lot of kind of questions about the apprenticeship process. This meeting is primarily for sponsors, but I don't, if there any students are in the meeting, we welcome you as well to clarify any misconceptions or questions that you might have to make the process easier. We do have Mr. Martinez here with the Department of Labor, and that is, our go-to person for apprenticeship questions with the state, and all my information is kind of coming from him. And so hopefully between the two of us, more so Mr. Martinez, that we can answer anybody else's questions about the process here. So we did this once in, I think, October. It's kind of just an open forum to ask questions. I think we did talk a little bit about the process. Mr. Martinez, if you want to maybe just run through it quickly to kind of head off any questions, maybe some of the things we talked about or the general process to it, I think that would help people. And then maybe we'll take questions after that.
The fifth year wage. So once they've completed the 4-year apprenticeship program and they're considered a journey worker, what do you pay somebody like that? That's really what the sponsor intake form, that's the information that the sponsor intake form captures. So I'm going to need that back, along with a copy of your trade license, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and proof of workers' compensation insurance. Once I receive those documents back, I'm going to start plugging things into our database electronically. based on the information that you give me, and our federal regulations are going to be in there. Once I do that, I create a user account for you in our database. I'll send you an email saying, hey, I've created a user account for you in our database. You just have to finish creating the account, and then you're going to get a separate email from our system, basically saying the same thing. Hey, we've created an account for you. You have to click this link to finish creating the account, and then you'll be able to log in there and check and verify the information. Once you email me back saying, hey, I've completed I've finished setting up the account and everything looks good, I'm going to send the documents over to you for digital signature. Once you guys sign it, it'll go directly to my state director for approval. And once it's approved, I will notify you. And at that point, you guys would be approved as a registered sponsor. Once you're approved as a registered sponsor, you will be able to register the apprentices in that database electronically. When you're registering the apprentice, you'll be able to grant up to 7,000 hours of credit for previous work experience. That's 3.5 years. So it does not matter if the person has been employed in the field for 20 years. The maximum amount of credit you can grant for previous experience is 3.5 years, because they have to be in our system for a minimum of 6 months. So that last 1,000 hours they have to do in our system. And they're not going to complete until they complete both portions of the apprenticeship, which are the on-the-job training and the related technical instruction, which is the schooling. So once you register them and you grant them credit for previous work experience, the system is going to generate an expected completion date for that apprentice based on the day that you register them and the amount of credit for previous experience that you give them. So if you registered somebody today on the 1st of February and granted them that full 7,000 hours of credit, their expected completion date that is generated in the system is going to be August 1st, 2023. Right? But that is only for on-the-job training. So they can't complete until their schooling is complete. So the later of that date is when his actual completion date is going to be. But when you do register him, when you submit it, the registration goes to me. I review it, and then I'll approve it. Once I approve it, I give that information over to the folks at Ocean County Vocational School, because they like verification. Once I give them that verification, and they take note of that expected completion date, right? And they know when this certain student is expected to complete school as well. So when they're expected to complete their apprenticeship, the school will send out what they call a blue border form, where you as the employer will verify that apprentice has completed all 8,000 hours of on-the-job training. And on the other side of that document, the school verifies that they've completed all of their schooling requirements. Once they receive that back from you, they would sign it and they'd send me a copy. And when I receive that copy, I will then complete that apprentice in our system, and I'll send the certificate of completion over to the school, and they'll copy, or they'll contact, I believe it's the employer, that they contact with the certificate of completion. In the middle of that process, you may get, if the system generates a completion date of August 1st, 2023, and the apprentice still has, say, another year of school after that, you're going to get, around that time, you're going to get an email, or probably the following month, right? So September 1st, you'd get an automatically generated email from the U.S. Department of Labor saying that you have an overdue apprentice. What that means is that the expected completion date was last month, but they still haven't been completed. If you get that notice, just reach out to me, and I'll extend the expected completion date out to the appropriate date. So that is basically the process. And with that, I'll take any questions.
And John, could you put your, I think Could you put your email address in the chat box?
Absolutely. It's in there.
Oh, there it is there.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, figure out how to do this.
You're unmuted.
I have a question, John.
Sure.
So the school, so I understand our company can apply for, so we can take care of the 4 years of apprenticeship. What about someone who's off the street that's working for us, for schooling? What are my options for schooling? And I mean, what if they already have been through vocational high school and have those hours through vocational high school? Does that mean all we have to do is complete the apprenticeship years and then they're good to go as a journeyman?
So if they've been through the vocational, some vocational training in high school, I think they get 1 year of credit for the adult program. That's correct, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, if they come to our program, 2 years of a daytime program would bypass them through year one and get them starting right into year two of the apprentice program.
All right, with the apprentice program, they can do the schooling, they can get the hours on the on-job training. But the actual schooling, the 576 hours of schooling they need, how many hours does that count if they've been through the high school VOTEC program? And what about the person who has not been to school yet? They have to go to an adult training center? Is that what they'll have to do?
Yeah. So if they went through high school vocational training in high school, again, that doesn't count for on-the-job training. That counts for the schooling portion.
Right. And how much schooling does that count for?
144 hours, which is 1 year.
Okay.
Somebody who just came off the street, they'd have to find a training program, whether it's us or a union or something like that, I guess,
I mean, they can go to whatever vocational school is closest to them. If they live in a different county, they can certainly go to a different county's vocational school. Or if they've already gone to a vocational school, some folks, you may hire somebody off the street who's already been through the 4-year vocational school, but they've never been registered. That absolutely would count. They don't have to go to school again.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be at the same time. I think that's something I get a lot. Like, people feel like they have to kind of be existing at the same, years, but as you're
Right.
saying, it could be much delayed and it's still acceptable. Does that answer your question? I'm sorry, does that answer your question there, Mr. Smith?
We're getting there. So the question is, if they go to adult training at the local vocational school, nighttime courses, they have to do that. They have to get the total of 576 hours. And how do we know if those schools are approved or not?
So you'd send me whatever. You could email me, and I'll let you know if they've already been approved. If it's a school that I have never heard of, I mean, I'll work together with Ocean County Vocational School, and we'll come up with a path forward.
And our local VOTEC school is Atlantic County Vocational.
Right. So they don't
approved as well.
Atlantic County is approved. The thing is that they don't run all their programs all the time, and they don't. I mean, I don't know what occupation you're talking about, Mr. Smith, but electrical. So yeah, I'm not sure if they have all 4 years of electrical schooling, right? So if for some reason they weren't running years 3 and 4, then we'd have to find an alternate route. And there are different routes available, right? They can. Ocean County Vocational School would probably be a long ride for them. There are online options as well. So we can certainly work that out.
So if I email you, you could send me a list of approved schools.
I can. So what I have is is a list of the county vocational schools, right? If there are others, if you're looking for something else, I can certainly, there's an online option that I'm very familiar with that I can certainly give you the information for that as well. And then if you're looking for anything else past that, then I can do the research and then definitely send it out to you.
I think we're definitely interested in the online.
Okay. Yeah, I can. You reach out to me and I'll send you the point of contact. I'll send you an introductory email with the folks at, it's called Penn Foster, and they'll respond to you fairly quickly.
And that's helpful.
That's helpful, thank you.
No problem. Do we have any other questions?
From our side, it's good.
I'm sorry?
I heard something's good, so hopefully we have some questions.
It's important for everybody to know that if your employees, if their goal is to get licensed in whatever trade you guys are working, they need to ultimately be registered with the United States Department of Labor. And that's according to the New Jersey Board of Electrical Contractors, the New Jersey Board of Master Plumbers, and the New Jersey Board of HVAC Contractors. Any of those occupations, if somebody wants to sit for their test, their route has to be, for the most part, be registered with the U.S. Department of Labor, have completed a registered apprenticeship program through the U.S. Department of Labor.
I think the last time we talked, there was a question about the ratio of apprentice to journeyman as being maybe something that people weren't quite sure about. Do you want to kind of go over that briefly?
Sure. So the ratio for apprentice to journey worker is 1-to-1. That means if you have 3 journey workers working for your company, you can register up to 3 apprentices. What we constitute as a journey worker is somebody that is experienced enough to train the apprentice in all aspects of the occupation. They don't necessarily have to be licensed. You have some folks out there that are your top guys that just never wanted to get their license for whatever reason, but they've been around forever. They're your go-to guys. That's absolutely a journey worker.
Now, John, I have one question on that. I've been trying
Sure.
to get my camera going. My camera can't work. My name's Tom Allen. I'm the one of the daytime instructors. So now in New Jersey, it's today actually. There's a law supposed to be enforced. It's not going to be enforced by the Board of Electrical Examiners till sometime next year. They're hoping every worker in the state of New Jersey is going to have one of 4 electrical licenses. So I think the question is going to come up with the employers that hire from us now. They're going to have a lot of those experienced guys, 10 years. And because they didn't do the apprentice, even though they had 4 years warning, they never went and got their journeyman certificate. So now, even though this guy with 10, 20 years experience, he's not going to qualify down the road for that journeyman card. Is that going to be an issue where, say, Jones Electric has 6 guys and they've all got over 10 years experience, but they never went and got that card. So technically they're just what in New Jersey we're going to call Class A wiremen, or if they could apply to be an apprentice, would that affect the U.S. Department of Labor standing for that? That's
No,
a separate
it doesn't affect what we call the program ratio, right? That when I talk about the ratio for apprentice to journey worker, I'm talking about for the apprenticeship program.
Gotcha.
What the state has going on, that's all on the state.
Okay.
It seems like kind of a money grab, but we don't get involved in that.
Right. Well, they're trying to fix the problem with unqualified workers from the bottom up rather than the top down. From the top down hasn't worked so well the last 15 years. So they're trying to work to get, solve an issue where, one of the problems are we have all these home services companies where it's Jones Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and they're essentially the workers are just a bunch of handymen. Today they're a plumber, tomorrow they're an electrician, and they're hoping by doing this you have to have that card, and you can't have all three cards. You can't be a registered electrician, plumber, and HVAC,
Yeah.
apprentice, and so they're trying to crack down on that. So
That makes sense to me. The only thing is that is certainly, without a doubt in my mind, that is certainly going to cause confusion as far as if somebody gets their apprentice license from the New Jersey Board of Electrical Contractors, they're going to think that they're registered with the U.S. Department of Labor.
yes,
And that's not the case at all if they just get it from the Board of Electrical Contractors. And then they're going to think to themselves, well, what did I pay for then? What did I get this?
yeah, even now that's guys are running into that. A lot of the employers didn't realize that they had to register. So that's
Right.
already coming up where guys are going to get their license. And I know, actually the state is on top of that right now, because guys are going to apply for their license exam now, and then they're being told you were never registered. So now you gotta, now your boss has got to register, and now you're gonna have to do another year. So the feedback I'm getting from employers is that no, that the state is somehow, tied this into the licensing requirement, but they are so short-staffed up there, and there's enforcement is going to be very, very difficult of these new requirements at the state level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the other thing too that I've been getting recently is, I guess, compliance type issues, which I've discussed with you. And, I guess for companies to be bidding on state contracts, they have to have registered apprentice programs, and they're asking for verification letters for that. Is that something that us as a school, we should kind of be preparing for, like, a lot more of that? And because, like, to my knowledge, we haven't really provided that in the past, but now it seems like
So no, the school really would have nothing to do with it. What the state is asking for is a certificate of registration of the apprenticeship program. So and when I grant them access to the database, and they've been approved as a sponsor, they'll be able to print that certificate of registration right from that database.
Yeah, so once they become a registered employer, then they can do that on their own. They don't need that from us. So if they're asking us that from us, then that means that they didn't register their company, most likely.
Not necessarily. They just don't know that they can print them out.
Okay.
They can contact me, and I'll probably send it to them and let them know, hey, you can print this out yourself, and I'll show them where.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other questions or things that are related to this that we might be able to answer? All right. Well, if there aren't any, I know that probably everybody has business to attend to. As I know, I have a follow-up meeting with Mr. Martinez after this. So just to remind you, we did record this, so I'll send it out to everybody that was on our response list to if they couldn't make it. But you have Mr. Martinez's email on there. If you were here, you most likely have mine as well, because I sent you the invite. Please feel free to reach out to either of us with questions. And I know I can speak for both of us in that we're here to help you and try to make the process easier, not more difficult. So please reach out to us if we can help in the future.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you all for attending, and have a great night.
Take care, everyone.